Hitting the ball into a wind is definitely one of the most difficult shots in golf. It affects all standards as a player. Everybody from single figures all the way through to high handicappers can struggle with this shot. In this video, we're going to outline the reasons why the shot is problematic, why it is that we tend to suffer with loss of distance, and give you some ideas as to how we can fix that. Let's have a look. So we've all discovered that hitting balls into a wind is very difficult, and I think that's true for every standard of player, from the complete novice all the way through to a touring pro. If you look at something like Henrik Stenson, from a few weeks back in a FedEx event, he came up maybe 15, 20 yards short. I think it was on the 16th par 3. Arguably cost him the tournament, arguably cost him possibly even the FedEx. So it's a problem for people even of that standard. The reason for the problem with hitting shots into a wind is because of spin rate. And I just highlighted the spin rate on this particular shot in the top right hand side of the column on the right. That is the number that we need to control. If we're going to control the ball into a wind, we need to lower the spin rate on the golf shot. Too much spin on the golf ball, your ball's not going to fly as far into the wind as what you want it to. It's as simple as that. We're going to talk a little bit about what controls that spin rate number. And the main influence, the biggest influence upon it, is the spin loft, which is the second number in the column on the right. The greater the spin loft, the greater the spin rate, all things being equal. So we've got to control that number to control the spin rate. So what is spin loft? It's a fairly new term. It's come around with machines like FlightScope and TrackMan, GC2 and other machines to give us an understanding, or it's a terminology used to describe the difference or the calculation between angle of attack, which is shown here on the left-hand side, and the dynamic loft of the golf club. So if you add the dynamic loft and the angle of attack together, it will give you the spin loft. So the angle of attack here is obviously 6.1 degrees down, and then the dynamic loft is going to be in around the sort of 28, 29 degree mark, and that's going to give us the spin loft of 35.6. Launch angle on this shot of 19.1. If we go into my second shot that I hit, this first shot was actually hit with an 8 iron. We got a carry distance on that first shot of 169. If we go 170 basically, if we go to my second shot, we've got virtually the same carry distance, but you can see that the spin is very much lower. It's 2,000 revolutions lower. We've got a considerably lower spin loft, and we'll have had a lower launch angle as well on that shot. We've got a launch angle of 14.2, whereas with the first shot we had a launch angle of 19.1. So if you've got a lower launch and a lower spin rate, your shot is not going to be as affected by the wind. The launch isn't as important as the spin rate, but it is a factor. So a nice low launch, nice low spin rate. If we look at the trajectory view, we can see that there's a clear difference between the two shots. This is the first shot, full 8 iron. The second shot that I hit was with a 6. We can see that the flight is lower. And I got the same distance out of the two shots pretty much. So that's the answer basically, guys. It really is as simple as that. It might not be the answer that a lot of people were expecting. I think I set about trying to do an instructional video. I went out on the golf course with the camera, set it all up. I was going to be talking about how we were going to play this shot into a wind. But then in hitting the shots, and knowing what I know about what controls ball flight, I discovered that there's no need to change your technique. Just change the golf club. Maybe take 1 or 2 clubs more, depending on the strength of the wind, and swing the club easier. That's going to give you a lower launch because of the loft on the club is going to be lower. And it's going to give you a lower spin rate because there's going to be a lower spin loft. And what really surprised me with these two shots, if we go back into the club view, was the attack angle. Now the shot that went or had the lower launch and had the lower spin also had the lowest angle of attack. So I didn't hit down more on the ball to get it to go lower. That's something that a lot of players will be tending to try to do. They'll be trying to hit down to try and keep the ball down. That's not necessary. So no need to change ball position. No need to try and hit more down. I wouldn't say hit up more, but we don't need to be trying to hit down more. So just play your normal shot. Play a normal shot, just take a little bit less loft, swing it a little bit easier, because if you hit it hard, spin rate will tend to increase. So hit it nice and easy, less loft. Practice that. Go to the range, practice it. Try and hit, let's say you hit your 9-iron 150. Go there and try and hit 8-iron 150. Try and hit 7-iron 150. Even try and hit 6-iron 150. And if you can, maybe pick a windy day to go to the driving range or the practice ground and hit some shots into a wind and see if you can control your distances a little easier when you've got that lower launch, lower spin rate. You should find you'll get some better results. Let me know how it goes. If you go out on the golf course and you try this really very simple theory, let me know how it goes. Let me know if you have some success. Leave some comments in the comments box below. If you've got any questions about this, just let me know. Thanks everybody for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope some of these tips have really helped you. Keep tuned in, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. More videos coming soon.